Let's talk about it. What's going on? I'm here with my special guest, Hotspots, New Jersey. Heather, take it away. Who's Hotspots? Who's Heather? What's going on? Let's talk about it.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you
I'm so
for being
excited
here.
to be here.
Right.
Who is Hotspots? Well,
Right.
Hotspots, NJ, is a fun page to follow, places to go.
Okay.
You need a date night spot. You need a spot to celebrate your birthday.
Okay.
And more.
And more. So you're giving businesses credibility because you verified the ambiance,
Yes.
the food,
Yes.
the drinks.
Oh, yeah.
And you're giving them something to say, okay, guys, anyone who live in Jersey or the tri-state area, come visit this spot because this
Yes.
is what we got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not just, I go, it's a whole process.
Right.
I have a reputation.
Yes.
So whatever I put out there, it has to be legit because
Right.
a lot of my followers really believe in where I post and will tell me they're going this weekend or they went and how was their visit. So I look up everything from reviews to, your Instagram, your social medias, and we tap into that. And I see if you need help with your social media, and that's
So-
something else I offer.
To that point, are you an influencer, brand ambassador, or marketing? Or that's all in one?
That's a
How
good,
would you call
yeah,
it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I guess you could say an influencer,
Okay.
content creator.
Okay.
And now I'm tapping into marketing. So
Nice.
I'm tapping into helping businesses, social media grow, their presence grow.
Growing through social
I
media.
have interns, I have videographers that I work with.
So you got a team. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I feel the energy. You're excited about this, right?
I am. Very excited, very
Okay,
excited.
that's
Yeah,
good. So
yeah.
I've seen you talk about restaurants, but other than from restaurants, I've seen you also talk about where we met, Cigar Lounge. We got to shout out Sticks. Sticks
Shout out
has
to
two,
Sticks Cigars.
Sticks Cigars. So they have two locations, one in Rawway,
Yes.
and another one in Bridgewater.
Nope.
No, excuse me,
Somerville.
Somerville. Excuse me, Somerville Sticks and Sticks in Rawway, right?
Yes, Sticks Cigars.
And Dan, I know Dan. I met him through you. Good guy. He's been, he's humble about what he's doing and how he's growing his business. He does have a partner. I don't know that part, but I know Dan. That's good enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you have cigars, and what else are you working on other than restaurant cigars? What other things you got going on? I see you have beauty salons, right?
Yeah.
Is it beauty salon? Am I calling it right? Beauty, touch up?
Beauty, spas,
okay.
Well-being.
Okay.
I have a lot of health people, like they want to see more healthy food places.
Right.
Gym people that follow me.
Okay.
All party animals that follow me.
Party
So
animals.
I try to tap families that follow me.
Okay.
So I try to tap into a little bit of everything.
Everything? Okay.
So there's no like stopping. Anything could be a hotspot.
Anything can be hotspot.
Yeah.
Anything can be hotspot. That makes sense because that's why it's called Hotspots, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So Halloween's around the corner. We're recording in October, and Halloween's 2 weeks or a week and a half from now. So that's gonna
Yeah.
be, because this is a big thing now. Like Halloween, I didn't know was. I mean, growing up, it wasn't that big to me, but now every year I'm seeing more and more celebrating Halloween. Can you talk about that a little bit and how you've incorporated hotspots with Halloween?
Absolutely. Well, this year I'm not hosting a party anywhere. I will be making rounds,
Right.
to a couple places. Like Stick Cigars is having a Halloween event,
Okay.
and they're having costume contests.
Okay.
Let me think. I mean, there's a lot of places. Elizabeth. I've been tapping into Elizabeth a lot more lately, and they have a lot of party spots to go out to there.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then last year I hosted like a Halloween party, but this year I don't know. I guess I'm just keeping it more chill. It just happened that way.
Okay.
You
You mentioned Elizabeth. That's central New Jersey. You're more of a northern New Jersey person, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like I've seen you do a lot of things
Yeah.
in the Bergen, Essex,
Yeah.
Hudson County. You're
Yeah.
coming to Union County. What's up
I
with that?
know,
How cool
I
is that,
know.
right? So
You know
you're
what?
growing your
It's-
brain. I love it.
It's like a whole new world.
Okay, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh no. I
Okay.
don't want to say, but
Okay.
it really is. There's so much that Elizabeth has to offer,
Right.
and there's beauty in it. You
Right.
know, a lot of great restaurants, a lot of great lounges. You've got Mixology that just opened a couple months ago.
This is in Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Okay.
it has an indoor and an outdoor, and a lot of live music
Okay.
on the weekends. great food. It's
Right.
it's fun. It's a great atmosphere. It's a great date night spot or girls' night. Boy, I mean, it's
Okay.
great. El Nacho.
Okay.
They're having a tequila festival this weekend.
Oh, that's what's up.
Parador Rojo. It's a Colombian restaurant.
Okay.
Great, like family-oriented place. Great food, and I can go on. You know.
Look, I was from New York, right? Every time someone tells me there's good restaurants in New Jersey, I'm like, get out of here. No, not. It's not. But I'm taking back those words because, yes, I've been spending a lot more time in New Jersey, and I've seen a lot of New Jersey restaurants. In my opinion, step up their game. And,
Yes.
And the ambiance is nice. So many different things. And yes, you're right. Union County, Elizabeth in Union County, they got a lot of things going on, especially when they have the World Cup, the soccer, and all that stuff happening.
they go
It's like-
crazy.
they go crazy. It's like you can day party when you don't need to be day partying, right? It's
Absolutely.
like they have all that stuff
Yeah.
going on. So that's kind of cool to see how these towns are changing and bringing what people love so much, which is food, right? Once you mention food, it's like it's a blessing. Right?
And even the place you tagged me in, Lager in Union,
Right, yeah.
New Jersey.
Yes.
Great Portuguese.
Oh, it's so filling though, man. Woo.
Yeah.
I go in a food coma. I'm like, but it's so good.
So good.
It's
so good.
It's
Yep,
so good.
Yep. You need that sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So Heather, excuse me, Hotspots, New Jersey. How did you get started?
How did I get started? Oh my gosh. So, believe it or not, I was a teacher for 12 years of my life.
Okay.
I went to school for teaching, certified, the whole nine. And while I was teaching, I worked in hospitality on the
Okay.
side. Worked in the summers, weekends, and I did everything from serving to bartending to working country clubs to bars. I
You a
mean,
country club?
yeah.
You had the cowboy hat?
No, like a, you know, like there's like golf for the men to do.
Okay.
And, yeah. So I absolutely loved everything about the hospitality world. People are leaving their house for an experience and just the customer service. And it's big. You want them to return.
It's important you said that, right? Because I know that's one of the reasons why I would hang out in New York a lot more, because I knew if I was going out, there was something to do after. Like you said, an experience.
Yeah.
I didn't just want to go into, go into a mall area and just go to the restaurant and just go back home. I felt like, I mean, why am I doing this? Like, why go out? I just might as well just order and just have the food here. I
Right.
want to have that experience. If I'm going out, I want everything, right?
Yeah.
I want the shebang. I want it all. So I felt like, let me go to New York. I can go to Central Park. I can go out to eat. I can go to a little lounge area.
Yeah.
I can go to a little like little cafe area.
Little
like,
speakeasy, little-
right.
yeah.
There's all that happening, but thankfully, because of the world of you promoting businesses in these areas,
Yeah.
I know where to go now.
Yeah.
And there's so much happening, like you said, in the areas of Elizabeth, northern New Jersey, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So thank you for encouraging others about what are the good restaurants.
Yeah. And
In New
places
Jersey.
and things to do.
Like,
Yeah.
what are some of the things to do in New Jersey if you're hanging out and looking for something to do?
I mean, it all depends. You know,
Right.
when someone reaches out to me, sometimes they'll reach out because they need help planning their birthday,
Right.
a celebration. Usually I ask, where do you live? How far do you want to drive? How
Right.
old are you? Right? Because
Right.
all that makes sense. Age-wise, you know,
Right.
you might not want to be in a boom, boom, crazy brunch party and
Right.
you're a certain age and you're like, oh my God, or maybe you want that.
Right.
So it all varies.
Okay.
But I mean, there's so much, depending on where you live. There's so many fun places to experience. The other day, I was at a Himalayan salt cave. Everything's made out of salt. The
Interesting.
floor, the walls.
Okay.
They have a salt room. They have a Dead Sea pool,
Okay.
massage room, a sauna made out of salt. It's like, and it's good for, breathing and just like.
I'm not there yet.
No, you're not there yet. Okay. I was there and I was like, I don't want to leave. They have to carry me out. Okay.
Yeah, that's to another level, right? It's
It
what
was-
it is.
It was amazing. And I'm
Was
going to
it?
be posting that soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess that's in relationships to some of the massage spots in the state of New Jersey, right?
Yes.
So there's a couple northern, central, and west New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
That you've been promoting. I see so much. You got a lot going on your page, right?
I know.
Hotspots New Jersey has a lot going on. I mean,
I need
she's
to clone
promoting
myself.
Like if you need the 411, did I say 411? That's old school. If you need, if you need very informative information of where to go, again, Hotspots, New Jersey has a lot going on.
Oh, thank you.
So how have you seen business change from post-pandemic? Prior to that, everybody's going out, then we had the pandemic, and now we are dealing with today where things are actually normalized. How have you seen businesses change from the pandemic?
That's a great question. How have I seen them change? I guess just, being more creative, maybe with their menu, with throwing more events in their place when they couldn't do that during the pandemic.
Right, back then we used to have a menu, like you said, a menu, right? You would look at a menu and be like, "Hey,
and then
I
you
want
were
this
scared to touch it."
Now, QR code, like everything comes up now, right?
Yep.
It's kind of crazy. Like,
Yep.
From my understanding, they're capturing your data now, right? Because once you scan a QR code,
Oh, yeah.
that's your information. Let's call it
Yeah.
what it is, right?
Yeah.
That's your information. So now they're finding out what you like and what you can potentially like,
Yeah.
and then giving you different options
Yeah.
based off of your liking. So
Yeah.
it's actually, I think it's helped the restaurant business in my opinion, right? Because you don't have to recycle anymore. You just scan it on a code now. It's just
And
like
that's
ping,
that.
and then
Yeah.
that's that, right?
Yeah.
And you can order from there. So I think
Yeah.
I've seen some improvements on that.
Yeah, and then you might even start to gather points. If you keep going and then you return, you get
Right.
a percentage off. So that's great. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we talk about restaurants, we talk about the food. Can you dive in a little bit about how important ambiance is? Right.
Yeah, it's everything right now.
Is it?
Yes, everyone is on their phone and it's like, look at me. And I mean, I do it, right? So it's like,
Right.
look at me,
You're
look at
guilty.
the spot. I'm super guilty. And just the aesthetic and, especially women, they want to take pretty photos. They want a pretty backdrop, lush seating and colorful. And so then they can post it and then their friends will be like, where are you? Where is this spot?
What's happening?
And it's what it is. Everything is aesthetic.
Right.
The cocktails.
Right.
People are going crazy. It needs to have fire, smoke, a bubble.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
it's like, oh my God, can I just like.
The
but
eyes in the beholder,
also
right?
needs to taste well, right?
Right. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not going there
And-
if the food is terrible,
Right.
right?
And, but yes, everything is aesthetic. We got to get with the times, your menu, what you bring to the table, everything. The decor, I mean.
I've seen that, like some restaurants step up their game with aesthetics, right? Back in the days, obviously, it'd be like your food is good, it's good.
And that was that.
That was that.
That was that.
But now, given the world of social media,
Yeah.
you got to step it up a little bit. And I guess that's when they call Hotspots New Jersey, be like, yo, look, we're about to launch.
Yeah.
Can you give me your opinion on how I'm going to launch, and I'm going to help you again advance that ambiance that you have and the food. So it's not just making the meal anymore, because making the meal is automatic. You need to make the meal.
Yes.
Like, let's put that on the table, right?
Right.
Your food needs to be good.
100%.
Yeah, food needs to be good.
Yeah.
Now you
and
have
the
to,
presentation.
right.
How it's
Everything-
plated.
Right. Oh, wow. Yeah,
How
that
it
is true.
looks.
Yeah. I don't pay attention to that stuff.
I know, but
right.
I get more engagement and likes when it's like cheesy and I'm going like this and, and it's a fire in front of my face and it's like
Right.
with the chorizo or whatever it is.
Okay.
But that's what gets it.
Yeah.
It's
The eyes,
people-
the eyes.
Yeah.
If I'm grabbing to it, if I'm spending more than a second or two on it, I'm more inclined to say, look, I'm going to stop by this restaurant or salon or cigar lounge and it divulge my life. I mean, I'm going to have that good experience like you mentioned, right?
It's an experience.
Right.
Yeah.
So how can you tell me a little bit about we live in a world with AI now, right? Can you dive in a little bit about how is AI helping you create certain messagings to the businesses that you work with?
I haven't tapped too much into AI, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The most I've done is I use Chat GPT when I need fresh ideas
Fresh idea.
for content or sometimes captions, but I like it to be more natural.
More natural.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I haven't tapped too much.
So you're a
into
little bit ChatGPT, but you're not really in it.
Yeah.
It's more of like you're still, again, she's using her own words. Obviously, she was a teacher. She talked about that, right? So therefore, she thinks ChatGPT is probably insulting, right? But for the most part, this is all your words tapping into what the businesses are trying to do and how you affirm what they're trying to provide to their clients.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
So they're getting the whole value.
Yeah, I mean, we have to be creative. Your social media should be a little bit commercial and a little bit reality TV.
Right.
Like fun.
Fun,
Have
right.
fun with it. Don't be scared to have fun.
Right.
To tap into those trending audios, those
Right.
trending reels, and do a funny video, and then do a educational video.
Okay.
You know, for example, if it's a Colombian restaurant, what do they typically eat in Colombia as
Right.
opposed to Ecuador, right? You
Right.
know, like tap into that.
Right. Specifics.
Absolutely,
Right?
yeah. Have
Because
fun with it. Have
it,
fun
right.
with your servers. Do content with your servers.
Right.
You know, it comes across more warm, engaging, and it makes people want to come there.
Right.
You know?
I get it. I see it now more than ever. Sometimes I'm like, wow. And you're right. When you see it, you're just like, I gotta go there. I gotta go there. So
Yeah.
everything is important when it comes to
Everything.
the content creation part.
Everything.
Right.
Yeah. We can't have. Can I curse?
Yeah,
Half-ass-
absolutely.
Half-ass anything. No, we can't.
Right.
Like, everything has to look right for it to be posted when it's posted. Why? Because we live in a world where a lot of people are entitled and they're quick to,
Right.
yeah,
Oof.
unfortunately, yeah. They have like one bad experience with like service or something, and they don't like something or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
speaking to
world.
that, we'll talk about this. What if this restaurant is doing what they're doing and they get this one bad review? How do you make that business partner, the owners, how do you make them feel comfort, like you can come back from this and it's just one review? Maybe that person in their mind had a bad experience and we want to change that, because these things do happen, right?
Yes.
As we get involved with talking about what we do and how we go about it, obviously there's going to be some things that do not happen and that can affect our business, because Google reviews does play to that, right?
Yeah.
How do you consult one when they have an experience like that and
Yeah.
now they call you and you're like, okay, let's move past this. We
Yeah.
can do this to bring light to, it was a one-off. This is not usually who we are and we're going to grow.
Well, that's a great question. Steps, I'm going to get to that, but before that, things that you can do to prevent that from happening
Right.
is your manager or even the owner should be taking walks around your dining, if it's a restaurant, your dining room, even your cigar lounge. Hey, how are you? How's, your night going? How's everything been so far? You need to make sure that everyone is good.
You need to be
That's
preventative,
very
right?
important.
Okay.
You want to make sure people feel warm, that they want to return to your establishment. Because sometimes people are like shy. If they had a bad experience with the server or something happened with the food, they don't want to say, or, it happens, even though they should. And then they'll turn to Yelp or Google and they tap away and they write this, and you don't know how much that affects the place. Now, when the bad review happens, you got to lean into it, meaning you have to reply back and say, I'm so sorry that you had, this experience with us. We assure you we want to welcome you back, and, let's put together a date when you can come back and return, and we'd love to show you who we really are.
Right.
So that you return. That's all you can do. What else can you do? There's not much, It's life. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But you got to take those steps to prevent that from happening.
Right.
Everyone is leaving their house for an experience, to let loose, to celebrate an anniversary, a birthday, have fun, enjoy themselves, leave the kids at home.
Right.
Enjoy themselves. Make sure they're good before they leave.
Right. So key word, you got to be preventative. Right?
Yeah.
Preventative.
Yes,
Excuse me.
yes.
I fumbled that word. That's terrible. So one of the reasons what I wanted to talk to you about small businesses and everything, a lot of times small businesses, because they've not properly, some probably didn't record their earnings to the government, or they've taken losses and they're scared to get into a home because they feel like the only way to get into a home is through, through regular lending, right? Where you would put X amount down and you would show how much you're making. What I want to bring attention to, if you're a small business owner, you're an entrepreneur, business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you got going on. In the lending world, you do have options, right? It's called a non-QM product, where you can go ahead and we can do what's called an asset depletion. You can also use what's called bank statements. So you may not record the earnings that you're making with the government. However, we can use the flows that go in and out of your account and some of your assets to help you qualify for a mortgage.
Okay.
And that's important because sometimes, again, some feel discouraged because they don't know. They don't know, right? They're like, look, I owe the government, I'm making $400 a month and I owe this much in taxes. What we're saying is that, well, look, you do have that, but we do see that you're going to be making more money to afford to pay back the taxes and those monthly payments that you set up with the government. We can now afford you to get into a home and use that to help grow your portfolio. Because I think when you I know when you're running a small business, it's important to have assets because you got to talk to your accountant, of course. You can offset some of your gains and losses through your property and you don't have to owe that much more in taxes. It's very important that small businesses, entrepreneurs know that there are alternative loan products for you when looking for a home. Don't feel discouraged because you didn't make enough this year or you're not reporting that much this year with your taxes and you're dealing with whatever that is, right? How much you owe. So that's one of the things I wanted to point out as that's why I brought you here to talk about that.
And I think that you should do like a seminar.
Right.
And
I'm looking forward to doing that with you this year. Next year.
Yes.
Right.
I think it would be a great idea. Tap into that and go from there. You have a lot of knowledge.
Right.
And that's the only way.
That's the only way because, again, sometimes some do not know they can still get a home. As far as I'm concerned, if you're making money and the way you want to go about getting a home, just let me show you how to do it and you can do it because, again, we do have products that are available for those who are small businesses and entrepreneurs looking to purchase a home.
No, that's great.
That's good, man. I'm just excited. I can't wait to do that. That seminar with you, right?
Yes. I mean, I'm excited to learn more. I mean, I don't know much about that.
That's all good. But again, I want to bring attention to it because, you don't know. What it is that if you don't know something and, the information on the internet, good or bad, sometimes you feel like you just don't want to listen to that world and you want to know more about it. This is where I can come in and give you more detailed information about what steps you can take getting a mortgage through a non-traditional product. So that's key. So Heather, I know you and I've spoken a lot, and one of the things I'm growing with it and I'm understanding those who go through it, you talked about it with me, is mental health. I don't know too much about it, but I do understand that some go through it. If you don't mind, would you talk about how you overcame some of those challenges and what makes you who you are today, Hotspots, New Jersey?
Of course. Back in 2020 is when it started. I had my father pass away.
Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, and it was the hardest thing I ever went through in life. And I thought I was tough and I could deal with it on my own.
Right.
But what was I doing? I was staying too busy, going to too many events, making myself too available. And so then what was happening? I was over drinking. And I mean,
you indulge in some of that substance.
And just alcohol.
Right. No, I didn't mean the other stuff.
But
absolutely.
But yes, I was doing a lot of that. And the straw for me was, don't know how, I made it to my mom's when she was still living here. Okay. To her home, middle of the night, crazy out of my mind. Where's my dad? Waking her up. And I'm just like, I need help,
Right.
Making her crazy too.
Right.
And then it was like, there was times I couldn't even leave the house. And I was just like, I had a mask on.
Okay.
I was dying inside, I would go to these events, be with these people. I wasn't happy. I wasn't me.
It wasn't you. Right.
No. And so I had never seen a therapist before. And I mean, that went on for 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, probably 2.5 years. And then finally I said, you can't live like this anymore.
Right.
And I had a friend that, she was seeing a therapist and she spoke highly of him. And I said, give me his number, please. That next day, made an appointment, and it was the best thing I ever did. I love my therapist. It has helped so much. My mental, how I think. I'm just able to talk things out, whatever I'm going through. And I used to be on medication because, depression medication. I'm no longer on it, and I'm just keeping myself busy in a good way. Not always, I don't have to attend every single event. I'm working on my physical. I'm in the gym more.
Okay.
And meditation more, and just trying to glow from within, out, and just be more present. Yeah.
That's key, right?
Yeah.
You don't, and that's the thing, right? You don't know when someone's going through mental health. You
Never.
don't, like you said, it's masked. It came to my attention when I was listening to Charlemagne the God on the Breakfast Club. He's been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how deep it goes into one going through that,
Yeah.
right? And especially growing up from where I grew up, where we would see certain things and you have to go to school the next day.
Like nothing.
Some of that is taxing. And
Yes.
me trying to tell my kids today, like, don't worry about it, get over it. I can't expect them to know that feeling, because the world I live in, I probably was masking some of that mental illness without me knowing that I was going through it. And now that listening to Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club, like talking about, we went through this, you just didn't know what it was called, or we didn't have enough information behind it.
No.
And now that we know it, and now there's help.
Yes.
Thank you so much for talking
Yes.
about that. Again,
Yes.
I don't want to dive deep into it because it's not
yeah.
something that I'm an expertise in, but
Okay.
I wanted to highlight it because in the real estate world, some of us went through some changes, whether it be, family, income. These roller coasters happen, and I don't know if that's what specifically is that considered mental. I don't know what it is, but I do know that that is something that if one is going through, don't be scared to talk to somebody,
Don't.
reach out and follow through, and know that there are certain resources you can go to
Yep.
to help deal with some of these challenges that
Yeah.
you go through when it comes to mental health.
Yeah. Life is hard.
It is.
Life is not easy.
Right.
But you have to figure out, if you need to let go of somebody, right? That's maybe causing, right? Or it's just something that it's deep rooted.
Yep.
But if it's not therapy, that's for you. There's groups. You could join a walk run club. You
Right.
can join different, you can become a member of a cigar lounge. You
Right.
can, do something different.
No,
Do something different.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why we're talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Because the word different, it's available to you. You just make sure whatever that is, let someone know. And then for us too, we need to be more receptive. We need to tap into the people who we want to F with, right? Because sometimes, good or bad, they could be doing something that's making them feel a certain way, but maybe that outcries to us, and then maybe we can get them to help too. So
That
I feel
too.
too like
That
we
too.
have a responsibility for the people that we want to see better by
Yeah.
us to
Yes.
check in. I
Yes.
think that's important. Like
Yes.
the
Check
check in, make
Yeah.
sure like, hey, I haven't spoken to you in 3 months.
What's
hey man,
up?
what's
How
going
are
on?
you?
Hey girl, how you doing?
Yeah.
What's good?
Yeah.
Like how are you moving? How are how is things looking for you, right? Because maybe that small conversation can change a lot of different things in their
Oh,
lives.
100%.
Right? I think that's important. Thank you again for talking about it. Again, I didn't want to talk about mental health too much because I just don't know it. I'm a little nervous about saying certain things, or I may fumble or word, but I feel like let's talk about it. We're talking about what's going on in one's life.
Yeah.
I'm an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. We go through these roller coasters, right?
Yeah.
And the world of social media, some feel like we have it there because that's what we're perceived, right? We put it out there, we're doing good, but like you said, you're running a tab on you're doing good, and then you realize that's not who I am. That creates a world of, God, I don't know what to do, and the outcry. I'm happy that you were able to understand what you were going through and get the help, and now you're a better person. I see the smile.
Yes.
I see everything about you.
Yes.
Well, I don't know you from the past, but I see everything about you now being
Yes.
positive energy and everything happening in a good way.
I'm going to leave you with this. I am not who I was 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like a different person, and you need to be.
Yes.
You can't stay the same person.
Yeah.
You have to keep evolving. So if ever someone says, "Oh, you've changed," you say, "Good, I'm happy I have."
Change is
You
a good
need
thing.
to.
Right. It's important for many to understand that.
Yeah.
Wow, that was deep. Ooh, I didn't think I was going to go there. But again, Spots New Jersey, you're doing really well with it. You're branding entities. You're branding entrepreneurs. Love how they're coming to you now to do other things other than the tasting. It's almost like they're asking you, they're coming to you now for the core. They're coming to you now for like stylistic, right? So you're doing a lot more than you was than just posting and just, you're like, look, we got to deep dive. We got to follow the numbers. We got to make sure there's a matrix behind it. We got to make sure we're tapping a certain crowd, because not everybody doesn't need to go to that one spot. There's a liking for certain things. We need to tap into those
100%.
who like. And that's important. Sometimes when you're growing your business, you're like, nah, let's blast it to everybody. It sounds good, but you don't need everybody. You just need a certain group that continue to come over there, make your business grow. Come back and be redundant with it. And that's how you grow your business.
100%.
So thank
Quality.
you. Quality is very important. Well, Hotspots in Jersey. I keep calling you my first name. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I got to stop doing that. I apologize, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tapping in. And I look forward to seeing you guys. Again, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.